Welcome to Was I in a Cult? Part 82. So I'm at the part of the story where I went to a pastor and made a confession that Monica and I had kissed, and we didn't even go much farther than that. However, I felt super guilty just for kissing and cuddling with Monica, and that's what I was confessing. When the pastor was listening to my confession, he didn't like over exaggerate or anything, but he let it have this really serious face on him, like, this is a very serious situation taking place, and I'm gonna have to take much consideration and put a lot of thought into what I'm gonna do about this. So he didn't tell me that he was gonna tell the ministerial staff and like all the pastors on staff about the situation, but he did. And like I said, he came back to me and he told me that he had let them know and that I was not to be interacting with Monica anymore, that that was the decision that was made, and that we could no longer be friends. My dog keeps growling at me, so I have to keep stopping this. But anyways, I didn't like that idea that I couldn't talk to her anymore, and I tried to not talk to her, but I mean, I didn't even tell her that I had confessed, so I was a little angry that this went as far as it did, because I was just like, I was wanting prayer, and I was wanting, like, I just didn't think that they would tell me as an adult that I was not allowed to speak to someone. I didn't think that that was a thing. But I thought maybe it would be a suggestion. I didn't think that it would be like, oh, nope, you can't talk to this person anymore. It wouldn't be, I thought it would be something more like, oh, we suggest that you try to keep your distance, stuff like that, right? But they were pretty strict on, they didn't want me to see her anymore, and I was just like, yeah, that's not gonna happen, because we're too close, and I'm just not gonna stop seeing her. And I didn't tell him that, but I got a little bit sneaky instead, because it kind of just reminded me of when my grandfather was telling me as a teenager that I couldn't do something, or my grandparents tried to tell me I couldn't do anything anymore. Like, I would find a way, and that's kind of what happened. So I basically just remember that I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna not let them know, and I'm just gonna do everything with her at her church instead of her coming to my church. Then we'll just do it that way. And I didn't tell him, like, I didn't tell him her name and what church she was from or anything like that. I mean, I think I told him her name, but like not enough to where he would know how to contact her and contact her leadership at the time. So I literally just kind of let it go, and I just started going to her church and visiting her there instead, and we'd still talk on the phone and stuff like that. And I just never told her that I confessed this situation. And he was like, he was in the prayer ministry, and I was taking her to the youth ministry. And the prayer service that he was a part of was in a different building than where the youth was, and he didn't attend the youth services. So I thought, well, it'd be fine, because I'll just take him to youth service and he won't know, and like, I'll just park in a different spot where we don't have to run into him, and then that's just what I thought, and I thought, like, he doesn't really know who she is really that well. Like, in other words, like, he wouldn't, if I wasn't with her, then, and he saw her, he probably wouldn't even know that that's the Monica I was talking about. And so anyways, because I don't remember, like, that I told him, like, what, that she was from, like, the San Fernando Church, or I don't think I was that detailed because I didn't really even want to tell him in the first place. I was only telling him because I felt like I should confess. So anyways, basically what ended up happening was one day I picked her up for youth service, and we went to the youth service, and I was hanging out with the youth, and then she wanted to go say hi to someone, and she was gonna go look for them at the other service. It was on the same campus, so like there was like, we were in the multi-purpose room, and then there was the main building, and the main building is where the prayer service was, and we were in the multi-purpose room with the youth. So she went to the main service to find someone that she knew, and I told her, okay, well, I'll wait over here for you because I didn't want anybody to see us together, and because I thought he doesn't know her from anyone, so like it's not like, if we're not together, he's not gonna know that that's who I was talking about. Like, so I thought it would be fine. So I'm over there in the youth service, and I'm just like talking to some friends after service was over, and we're hanging out, and like Monica's taking forever. I'm going, what is going on? Like, when did she come back? And I didn't want to go get her because if I went to look for her, then I might run into Pastor Hendrick, and he might see her with me, and then he would know exactly who she was that I was talking about. So I thought it was anonymous. I didn't think he knew who she was. I'm not sure. I still to this day do not know how this man knew who she was. But long story short, I walked over finally because I was waiting and it was taking forever. And I remember having my nephew with me in a stroller. So I'm rolling him over there to the big service, and I poke my head in really quick to like scan the room and be like, where is she? Is she right here? And lo and behold, I see Pastor Hendrick sitting down talking to Monica. And like, whew, I can't even explain the feeling that just like came over me. Like, it was like heat and chills and anger and fear and frustration. And I saw him talking to her. I saw him talking to her, and she was like looking like she was gonna, like crying. And I was like, this is bad. This is really bad because I didn't even tell her that I confessed. And now he's confronting her about it. So I saw them, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not even about me. Maybe he just happened to start talking to her. I don't know. I really still don't know to this day how that even went down. So I like went running to my car. I was like, dude, Monica knows where my car's at. She will meet me at my car when she's ready to go. So I was parked outside along the street instead of in the parking lot because I was trying to hide the fact that I was even there in the first place. So I sat in my car waiting. I knew Monica knew where my car was. I waited for her to come. And she came with Pastor Hendrick. I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. So I look out the window and I see them walking to my car. And I was just like, I wanted to just like freaking leave. Like, because I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a grown adult, and I don't know why I'm even allowing this dude to tell me what to do with my life. Like, I don't even know why I told him. I should have never told him. That was stupid. And he just like knocks on the window and he's like, we need to talk. Let's go talk. And I'm just like, this is not going to be good. And I don't know, like I kind of like disassociated at that point. I was like, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And I don't know what to do. And I was just like freaking out. So I was like, okay, I guess.